Hey guys, what's up? I'm going to show you guys how you guys can get leads for free using my RevFlo method. Let's get into it. RevFlo is the business we're focused on right now, what I'm going into. So I was thinking about doing something on the roundtable in that respect. You can go to revflo.me if you want. RevFlo, what we do is we help funnel owners, lead gen sites, e-commerce sites, monetize, like find hidden revenue during the transaction moments. So on the confirmation pages, we'll place some code and we will then serve relevant ads to the consumer after they transacted with the front end of a funnel, of an e-commerce site, of a lead gen site. So there's different placements within the funnel that we can monetize. The thank you confirmation page is one. Another one is if somebody is disqualified and doesn't meet certain criteria when signing up, we'll get them redirected to us and then we monetize that event because that funnel owner lead gen site can't monetize them. So, examples are, we just did a deal with an education portal where they get people to sign up and they're looking for different degrees. So they answer a bunch of questions, they put their information in and they say, I'm looking for a business administration degree, a psychology degree, criminal justice, whatever. And either they've capped out or they don't have the fill. What they'll do is then, I call it like no match ads, but it's like with RevFlo ads, they'll send that user to us and then we'll try to serve that person some relevant offers based on where they're coming from. So either we will go and get a psychology degree if it's that case, or something relevant like financial aid, maybe a job site, headhunter, something relevant that makes sense to continue on with that user to make it worth their while. Like on financial sites, like a lending tree, someone's signing up, you get a home equity line of credit or a mortgage or some sort of loan, and they self-assess that they have shitty credit and that lender does not want to lend money to somebody who has shitty credit. So they've been disqualified. So then they send them to us, right? So in that scenario, right, somebody has bad credit. Naturally, what's the most relevant thing? A credit repair offer. Perhaps they have debt. So debt consolidation, things like that, right? So the idea of like being able to serve relevant ads that are useful for the consumer. Another thing is like RevFlo ads will do on a drop off or an exit. They start, but then they leave. So when they leave, our tech, it's like some JavaScript there, right? Someone will pop up saying, hey, wait, before you go, you might be interested in ba, 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 ba. And then what we're doing is we're trying to save that user, right? Because they're leaving. And now what we're trying to do is trying to save that user to maybe pick up some revenue for that site, right? Because the way that we look at it, right, we know there's earned and paid media. But in my mind, every click that comes to that page, you've paid for. So if you're paying for that click, you want to find a way to generate some revenue from that click. So what's cool about RevFlo, I think in like the coaching world, what could be cool is to almost compare it to the way Russell describes like his SLO funnels, his self-liquidating offer funnels, right? You guys familiar with what that is? So the strategy with a self-liquidating offer is that you're driving traffic, paying for traffic to get to your funnel, and then you're selling something to the consumer that's going to help you offset your media costs. So if it costs you $10 to acquire a customer and then you send them to like a free plus shipping book and they pay $7.95 for shipping, they get the free book. Then they have the order bump. There'll be a percentage of people that'll take like an order, like a bump below. Then the upsells and downsells on the back end. And then you get your average cart value, right, over time, right? And the concept with that is it's okay to just break even. If it costs you $30, $50, $70 to get that buyer into that funnel, but you can make that $30, $50, $70 to offset it and break even, you've now brought a buyer into your world, onto your list that now you can nurture and ascend to sell them more stuff. That's the concept. But with RevFlo, what's cool about it is like you can't do an SLO with a lead magnet. So a lot of people don't buy leads because of that, right? Because they're not selling anything. So then the user has to, when someone goes and buys traffic to a lead form and then they go on their list, now you have to now nurture that person and you have to have very good tracking in place for attribution, which most people don't know how to do, which I will build a software for that at some point. I should already be doing it because I know people need it. But attribution is a really powerful thing that a lot of marketers in the coaching and info product space aren't really familiar with, which is understanding the value of a customer over a period of time and attributing sales that you get 30, 60, 90 days out to that origination media buy where you first got that person on your list, right? So a lot of people are afraid to buy leads because they don't know how long it takes, what the value is of each customer from each source, and they're scared to take risks. But if they did it in a way where they understood understood that, oh, if I buy 100 leads, I know on average I'm going to close 10% of those people. So I'm going to get 10 sales. And if I look at it from a global, not just by like, oh, a $47 challenge, but globally from an LTV, lifetime value of a customer within a time period, let's say 90 days, that each customer to me is worth 12 grand. Over 90 days, 10 customers, that's $120,000. So like if you were to go out and buy leads at 100 leads, you have $120,000 in business that you should hypothetically make based on the averages when you run volume, depending on the sources of traffic of where you're getting it. So like what's kind of cool about that is what you do is that's how you come up with your CPA goals, right? You're willing to spend to acquire a customer. Let's say you want to work on, 50% margins. That means you have $60,000 in allowable to acquire new customers. So hypothetically, in that scenario I just described to you, if you take 60,000 and divide it by 100, you can buy a lead for $600. You're obviously not going to do that because you don't have to. But you can go out and buy a lead where you get somebody to come in from people's sources and spend $10, where people would be ecstatic to get $10 for a lead. They're not giving up customer data. The person's not buying anything day one, yet your process has proven that you're going to sell 10 of those people. So like bottom line is if you spend $10 on 100 leads, you spend $1,000. When you're allowable at 50% is 60,000. So you've like dramatically lowered your margins, like of cost. Your margins have increased actually. But what's cool about RevFlo, so circling back full circle, is RevFlo is an SLO for lead magnets. Our RevFlo sits on the back end, the confirmation page of you generating a lead, landing there, and then people are buying leads, they're buying clicks, and we split the revenue with the funnel owner. So on one side, we're looking for publishers that we want to place our RevFlo on their pages, right? And then we're tasked with, once we get the placement, to look at that funnel, that e-commerce site, that lead gen site, and profile out the audience of why are they there? What are they doing there? What is the goal? What they're looking to achieve from being there? And then what makes the most sense? And this is all around like building out like machine learning and AI and all that fun stuff. There's logic and there's data. What is the most logical thing that makes sense for someone to be on this page that one doesn't compete with the person that we're helping to unlock revenue during their transaction moment? And two, it also brings value to the customer as an upsell. Tons of companies do this already in the world. Like airlines do this, right? There are some airlines that compete with some of the largest airlines in the world. So what they'll do is they'll sell an airline ticket and take a loss. But then what they do is then on the back end, they'll charge you for luggage. They'll upsell you for a car rental or a hotel or all these different offers on the back end that fill that model to be able to be profitable. So by selling these tickets for cheaper to go somewhere, it allows them to compete with United and American and Delta. If they can't compete on value, then they do it on price and then they make the money on the back end. So like RevFlo enables people to be able to do that from a lead gen perspective, from an e-commerce perspective. We're just monetizing that transaction moment. So guys, if you're interested in monetizing your traffic post-transaction of a lead sign up, of a sale on your confirmation pages, anybody that's disqualified, you can come check us out. Go to revflo.me, REVFLO.me, and you can fill a form and check us out. You can help you with monetizing all your traffic. If you're a buyer, RevFlo ads, you can also buy traffic inside some of these killer premium placements that are nowhere else to be found except ours, in this exclusive environment where people are just ready to engage with your content. They've already taken action and they will take more action. So peace.